Greetings, and you have been pulled into the black dimension. And thank you for joining us once again. I am Kev. Roger and Donnie is here as well. And this is our return to our MCU Infinity 23. This is how we are ranking the Marvel Cinematic Universe film continuity. Of the 23 films that make up the Infinity Saga. And we have done 8 episodes thus far, and we're on our ninth. And for this ninth film, we're doing Thor the Dark World. So, how y'all doing, fellas?
Doing good. Doing good. How y'all doing?
Man, it's lunchtime. Brother trying to get him something to eat. I'm good otherwise.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, okay. So here is how our countdown has went so far. We get together and discuss these before the broadcast, and as you can see, due to our previous episodes, Avengers is sitting at the top, and you can see the other films as well. So, yeah, let's discuss this for a second. We'll let you know at the end where Thor: The Dark World falls in this countdown as well. So, Thor: The Dark World. Let's get to it. So initially, fellas, what you do you think? Do you think it was an excellent film? Do you think that it could have been better? Did you think that it served its purpose?
I think if this was a commercial for Red Bull, because the elves was drinking Red Bull and getting gangster. But otherwise, I think it.
A little bit better, but overall, I thought it was a great film. Honestly,
Okay. Okay, you said Els was drinking Red Bull. Okay, now this is the second film. This is the second film in the Thor trilogy starring Chris Hemsworth, and also it did have some key significant things happen. The film wasn't well received as far as how it did as a film, and this, and I'll give you a couple of fun facts. Number one, Chris Hemsworth did he was his morale wasn't very high after the filming of this. He did not, he almost did not have the desire to return to playing Thor after this particular film. Also, Jamie Alexander, who played Lady Sif, she didn't return to the third. She didn't return for Thor Ragnarok at all, and there was actually some kind of Easter egg that was implied that might ripple into Thor: Love and Thunder. But I'll explain that as we go along. But my biggest problem with this film in particular, I would say, uh, it was a villain problem. It was the villain problem. Now, the villain problem really started in Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin fake out and, Aldrich Killian being the, main villain instead of, the Mandarin actually being real. But it continues with the Dark Elves. Okay. And I would say that Malekith did not really. I mean, although things happened that were significant to the MCU, he didn't really have that oomph. What do you guys think?
Red Bull gives you rage. He was just a trash. Like he was the storyline altogether was trash to me. Like, oh, we've got these angry elves and they're dark and they're sitting. I was over it before it even started. To me, this was slightly better than the first Thor film. Um, I, uh, I think the fight scenes were cool, but the story in itself was just poor. And even at like the third one, right? He was like, well, Jane Foster broke up with me. Was that Avengers, one of the Avengers movies? Like nobody wanted to return. It seemed like the franchise was dying on this film. So it, to me, this wasn't that great of a film all the way around. I just thought everything could have been better about it.
All right, yeah. I mean, we had some returns too. I think what they were trying to do, they were trying to up the ante a little bit because the first Thor was more of a comedy, more of an introduction to the character itself. And yeah, it was for me. The first Thor was fun. It's just that This movie in particular couldn't recapture that. Now, one thing things that were important to the film, you had the ether, which the ether is the reality stone, if I'm not mistaken. It was Jane Foster. Here she is right here, and they went to investigate kind of an anomaly where interdimensional things were happening, like things were going through one place and ended up in another, and nobody was knowing why. So Jane Foster in this place, uh, she somehow gets possessed by the ether, and they have to take it out of her before it's too late. So she goes to Asgard with Thor, and just shit ton of things happen. I would say. Also, you also had the death of Thor's mother Frigga, which of course, it sends Odin into a rage, and Thor and Loki actually having to have a team up. And also, you had a fake death of Loki. Now, Roger, you have this. We talked and we ranked this film, and you really felt like that. The other two, myself and Donnie, were being kind of unfair. Explain your viewpoint real quick.
Hey, brother, when it comes to how great the film was, I give a lot of credit for they were taking us more into the cosmic side of Marvel. The issue that was going on between brothers while having a somewhat do a rescue mission, while what I'm saying, while they were the things that were going on with the way they were showing the convergence, the teleporting in and out of places, Mjolnir responding to Thor at the drop of a dime, whether he's on one planet or the other. The even the 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 uh, the interaction at home with Jane, Dr. Selvig, and Marcy, and the new intern Ian. The way even Thor even entered the home and the hung up Mjolnir, there was a lot of good positive things about this movie. Now, granted, they were fighting some elves and the elves were tall. That's hilarious to me in itself.
Some angry Keeblers.
So yeah, I don't believe in tall elves. I barely believe in short ones. But I mean, with all that aside, I thought they still gave a great presentation, and I felt that it deserves to go a couple space higher. But you can't win them all. You can't win them all. So it's all good at the end of the day. But I thought it was a good master work. The comedy level was good. The action was right, and the motivating factors were good in this particular film as well.
Still was trash.
It was y'all crazy.
No, no, you. I mean, you did mention there was some highlights that kind of gave you a respect for Mjolnir. But aside from which, I mean, it was supposed to do. But aside from that, the story as a whole, like like all that stuff is, I wouldn't even say B story, it's C story. The main story was him fighting the angry little Keebler guys, right? And they took some Red Bull and became gangsters. That just wasn't enough for me.
um, well, I mean, first of all, I thought the plot was something pretty well put together that was kind of unheard of to me, at least at that time, to talk about what was going on before the beginning of creation. That was a new twist. I had never heard anybody talk about before the beginning of creation, and having some real content that goes with it. So that, I mean, I thought that was a good little. It was a great piece of story at the end of the day. Now, could the fighting of the elves and overcoming the situation been a little bit more exciting? Oh yeah, yeah. Because I mean, it was really just Thor squaring off against Malekith. It could have been a little bit more to it than that to quote unquote save the day.
All right, all right, all right. One more thing is about the villain, the main bad guy, like the actor Chris Eccleston. Um, he said that this was like a day worth of work trying to get on the prosthetics. Now, if you could see the other actor, Adam BC from Oz, he didn't have that much prosthetics. But what he was saying was Disney and Marvel lied to him about the job it would take. Now, I don't know why they can't just put a pair of ears on him, but still, he didn't do the job very good. And I'm not a huge fan of this actor anyway. So let's get to let's get to the final part of how we rank this film. Now, of course, you've seen at the beginning of the broadcast, we put our countdown before it. Now, how will it measure up? Will it knock off the number one, the Avengers, or will it at least get ahead of the number eight, Captain Marvel? So we talked about this before, and here's how it ended up.
I, boom.
Boom, right there. Uh, Although Thor: The Dark World was an okay film to the continuity, we ultimately did not feel as if it was better than The Incredible Hulk. But we had no problem putting it ahead of Thor. At least myself and Donnie. Now Roger feels somewhat different, but it is what it is. Uh,
And again, we want to apologize for Roger. He know not what he does.
yeah.
Y'all just don't have the taste you should, but it's okay.
Okay. All right. All
I,
right. Now.
I sully myself in my company.
Okay. All right. Well, this is a great series, and we're gonna be on number 10 next episode, and next episode should be a pretty good one. We will be doing our ranking of Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and that one right there is a doozy. So I have a feeling it's gonna be very high in the rankings. What do you think, guys?
All day, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a great, influential movie. We had to have that movie, so I'm up for it.
yeah. I can't wait to get back and watch it myself. Honestly.
Okay, now you see the countdown, and that's where we are. This has been the ninth edition of our MCU Infinity 23 with Thor: The Dark World at number 7. So look at the countdown. Will it change next episode? Will Captain America: Winter Soldier rank high or rank low? We shall see. Thank you once again for joining us for our ongoing series, the MCU Infinity 23. Much appreciated. This is Kev, and for Roger and Donnie, you have been pulled into the black dimension. Hopefully, you can find your way out. Till the next time.